United States. The school I work for is English, and I have been here for 2 months.
2 months, wow.
2 months, yes.
Can you tell me how you got into teaching English?
Sure. I got into teaching English because I really wanted to make an impact in people's lives.
Mm,
I worked in corporate America for a number of years. I realized that after a time that there was something missing. There was something missing in my life,
mhm,
and I really wanted to do something altruistic as far as once again impacting people.
mhm,
And I mean, teaching. There's a lot of work. You're preparing for classes. You're teaching those classes.
mhm,
There's a moment where you're standing before your class and you see their faces and their eagerness to learn English,
mhm,
and you think, okay, this is what it's all about, right? This is why I do the things that I do because
mhm.
it's making sense in people's lives.
Wow, that's great. What advice would you give to people when looking for teaching jobs in China?
Um, it's interesting because I think the most important thing is actually, and I know this is going to sound, I don't know how it's going to sound, but I think really finding a great recruiting company
Mhm,
um, that is looking for teachers, because I think it's important that you have a connection here that knows the schools
mhm,
uh, that are here in China.
mhm,
I've heard, since coming to China, being here for 2 months, I've heard some stories about other schools that where maybe the teachers haven't been paid on time,
mhm,
or the workload is this crazy amount, or whatever.
mhm,
Um, and so if you're working with a reputable recruiting agency, you sort of have that peace of mind that the
mhm,
school is going to be placed with is really going to meet your requirements, and in the same respect, you're meeting their requirements.
mhm, mhm. That's great advice. I agree completely. Do you remember your first week at school?
I vaguely remember my first.
You remember the
It,
induction and training?
yes, it was a blur. It was a blur. I was coming in at a time when one of the other teachers was leaving, and so I had to take over some of his classes. So basically, the first couple of days, there was observations. I got to talk to other teachers, looking at some of the course material, and then familiarizing myself with some of the classroom technology
Mm-hmm.
as well. And then basically, I was within a few days teaching my very first class,
Mm-hmm.
which I actually liked because it's sort of, instead of facing that culture shock, it
Uh-huh.
got me into working, and so I could focus on something,
Mm-hmm.
and then gradually get used to a new situation, a new environment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes
I don't know the exact number. EF, or English First, has a number of branches around the city.
mm-hmm.
In each branch, there are anywhere from 10 to 15 international teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming there are probably about 100 to 120 international teachers from places like the United States, Canada,
Mm-hmm.
Australia, England, Ireland, Scotland. Sorry, I switched into my Scottish accent for that one. And South Africa as well. So it's a great international community of teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of cool because you get this eclectic mixture of people.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Can you tell me a bit about your housing? Do you have a housemate?
I do not currently have a housemate. I know that I think I have a new roommate coming in January. So I've got this entire apartment to myself. It's great, love it. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
sure, I'll love it in January as well.
Uh-huh.
But the best thing about it is that, and one of the reasons I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, is because I have these huge picture windows in the living room and in my bedroom. And so I get to basically see the sunrise on the city, and it reflects off the buildings
Mm-hmm.
opposite mine. And so it's just a great, you just get to see the city you get to see the city wake up
Mm-hmm.
in the morning. So it's a pretty cool view. I like it.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. Um, can you tell me about one of your favorite classes at the moment?
Favorite classes? There's so many actually. I actually like them all. I think one of my thus far my favorite class, which actually just ended,
Mm-hmm.
um, was a class where the students were they were very engaged. They wanted to learn English, so that's a positive right there.
Mm-hmm.
And and I went in with the mindset, I am going to give them the best class that I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
And in my last class, they actually made me a video they had gone on the internet and found out places that I had lived in the United States, schools that I had gone to.
Mm-hmm.
I graduated from a school of music, and
Mm-hmm.
so they had some of the music that one of my bands had written, and so they put together a PowerPoint presentation
What?
and gave it to gift. I know, gave it to me as a gift in the last class, and it was just it was a very thoughtful and special gift, and I don't know, I just really appreciated the heart that they put into it. So thus far, that has been my favorite class.
Wow. What kind of support and training is provided at your school?
There's a lot. There's a lot. As far as we're talking about being able to talk to other teachers.
Mm-hmm.
There's always, we always have the opportunity if we want to observe other classes,
Mm-hmm.
just to get ideas and suggestions. Um, the course materials are exceptional as far as the books that we get to use, but we also get the flexibility to be able to create lessons, to bring in
Mm-hmm.
some of our life experience and things that we've learned or seen or done in the past in order to make the lessons even more vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the local staff as well, the Chinese locals are very, very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super nice as well. So it's good, especially when you're coming in, you're new, and you have to do all of these things as far as setting up a bank account, getting your phone, getting registered as far as at the local police station for your work permit.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the staff was extremely helpful in that and made the transition very easy.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's great. Good to hear.
Yes.
So, how is your Mandarin?
It's pretty bad.
Oh.
I did not know any Chinese before coming over here,
Uh-huh.
and the first couple of months have been extremely busy. So I've picked up words here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I have started actually within the last couple of weeks doing a language exchange with one of my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
It's very patient, which is good. With me, and I get to obviously help her with some of her English as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I am bound and determined to learn Mandarin as much as I possibly can.
So you mentioned culture shock earlier. Can you tell me some of the main cultural differences between?
You know what? It's not so different that you're feeling completely alienated, right? Tianjin is a large city, so there are restaurants, the Western style restaurants. There are shopping malls. So it's actually a pretty warm and friendly city. I think that what I've tried to do is really incorporated myself into the city to try to understand the Chinese culture as much as possible.
What else do you do during your free time?
I have so I have this crazy background as far as I played tennis for college in the United States as well. There are not a lot of tennis courts in Tianjin as far as public tennis courts.
Mm.
So I have decided that I am going to brush up on my ping pong and learn. So I have been playing a lot of ping pong and I've been learning how to play badminton. And in fact, I just went out with one of my classes yesterday and we played 2 hours of badminton. And then they took me out to a hot pot afterwards. And, so I got to eat mutton for the first time.
Oh.
Yes, I know, exactly. With all my students after having played badminton. So it's a great, once again, I just wanted to throw myself into the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And in China, ping pong, badminton, that's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. So have you been on any trips to other parts of China yet?
Um, Yes, I have actually. Just went to the Great Wall of China.
Mm-hmm.
Took a cab. Yep, took a cab, a taxi from Tianjin. It was about a 2.5 hour ride up to the mountains. Though I thought that our cab was going to die. Um,
What?
and then I was going to have to trek the rest of the way up to the Great Wall. I was bound and determined. I was like, I'm going to see the Great Wall, one of the seven wonders of the world. And
Mm-hmm.
we made it there. It's good. We made it back, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But the Great Wall is, we went on a Monday, so it was not crowded whatsoever. In fact, I think we saw five people on the wall. And I was,
Wow.
yes, I know, it was not crowded whatsoever. I took a camera with me. I was able to get some fantastic shots of just the wall and the distance and the mountains behind it. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a really, it was a really profound experience as far as standing on something that's been around for thousands and thousands of years and
Mm-hmm.
realizing the longevity, right, of the Chinese people of
Mm-hmm.
China. So it's really, as I said, profound moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's, yeah, that's great.